Cool.
picking your favorite child.
All right, well, who's the oldest child then?
The oldest child, this is the OG. This is why I started the business. This is Putnam single malt whiskey, and it's 100% malted barley. And so I took a page out of craft beer, which really, craft is an ingredient story. And craft beer is, frankly, it's like anti-corn. And being at the forefront of that since the mid-'80s, I learned a lot about it and why people drink craft beer, because they love the full-bodied, all-natural flavors. And I found that whiskey in America, of course, is bourbon. Bourbon is the poster child for American whiskey. What I love about it is that it has to be made in the United States, so that's great. What I don't love about it is that it has to be made with the majority of corn. And corn just is lighter and sweeter, and it's a filler, it's an adjunct, and craft beer is sort of the antithesis of that. So I decided to start Boston Harbor Distillery to make whole grain whiskeys here in Boston. And there was really a white space for whiskey making here. And so I, jumped in, and my husband's a builder, fortunately, and he's the one that found this building, and it was really a falling down, dilapidated junk collector's warehouse. And he said, "There's your distillery." I'm like, "That piece of shit." Yeah. And so everything that you see here, this was all brick. We had to put the walls up for energy codes. There was no utilities in this building because it was built in the 1800s by Silas Putnam, which is why the whiskey is named Putnam. And Putnam actually manufactured the hot-forged horseshoe nail, and they made horseshoe nails and supplied both sides of the Civil War. And so that was his logo from the 1850s, and so was this is his uncle, General Israel Putnam, who was born in Danvers, Mass. At Putnam Pantry. I grew up in Lynn and Peabody, and Danvers is right between, so I used to go there all the time. But Putnam, as you know, is a big name in New England, and there's Putnam County, Connecticut, New York, and Putnam Investments, of course. So that's why I named the whiskey Putnam, and the reason because of my background in craft beer, this was the first whiskey we ever made. Now this is 100 proof whiskey by law, has to be made, it has to be bottled at no less than 80 proof. We're just doing 100 because we like it that way.
Do we sip it or shoot it?
You can sip it. Again, it's big and it's alcoholic, but I want you to get usually I have a little water that will open it up. But this mash bill, which is 100% malted barley, it's 20% roasted malt.
That is delicious.
And the roasted malt gives you that chocolate, coffee, toffee finish, and we were inspired by the Walter Baker Chocolate Factory, which is down in Lower Mills. It was America's oldest chocolatier, so that was the first whiskey we ever made.